everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Recap with Rep Jess. Should be a fun episode today. Lots of great information, new stuff coming down the pipeline from the Department of Health, so I'm excited to talk about that. But first, it is time for the Rep Jess Coming in at the number one spot, we got yet another confirmation from the Pennsylvania Department of Health that those second doses of vaccines will be secure and are going to be prioritized moving forward. I'll have some more on that for you a little bit later on in this episode. At number two, the House is on break from session for hearings on the budget. Yesterday, I attended virtually the Department of Aging's budget hearings. Lots of questions left unanswered about accountability for COVID-19 cases in nursing homes and congregate care. That gets a real thumbs down from me there. The Pittsburgh Public School Board is holding hearings around school building closings and consolidations on Monday, February 22nd, which is a happening that takes the number 3 spot. If you'd like to provide your opinion, you can do so by calling 412-529-3868 to register before noon on the 22nd. You'll also need to email your testimony, but they will provide those details when you call. You also don't have to be in attendance at the 6 p.m. hearing on Monday in order to provide testimony. If you're not there, your testimony will be read. At number 4, shout out to our local independent pharmacies who've been working hard to get everybody rescheduled for their second dose appointments this weekend after the Pennsylvania Department of Health threw a little bit of a wrench in that, those original plans. We're really quite lucky to have them serving our district. And last but not least, why did all my favorites on The Bachelor go home this week? I just don't understand. We do also have an update here about vaccines, so let's get into that a little bit. Let's talk about what happened with those second doses. I've gotten a little bit of a post-mortem, as it were, from the Pennsylvania Department of Health about what exactly went wrong. So basically, there were a couple of things that happened. Vaccine providers were requesting more second doses of the Moderna vaccine than Operation Warp Speed from the federal government was able to provide. That much was clear. And so basically what ended up happening was there were potentially some second doses that were accidentally used as first doses by some pharmacies in the states. And then there was potentially some pharmacies who gave a second dose earlier than it should have, causing that shortage. But we figured out basically what to do in the future to prevent this from happening and to get us all caught up. So what they did was, if vaccines for first doses weren't immediately being used by a distributor, they were able to pull those back and distribute those to the pharmacies who needed those second doses. So think, Spartan and Hilltop, who really needed those second doses. We were able to get those to them. And then going forward, the Department of Health is going to do a better job of tracking that second doses are matching the number of first doses that a provider had given to make sure that there's some accountability there. They're also going to allow providers a little bit more flexibility, because the CDC does say that you can take that second dose of the Moderna vaccine anytime between 3 weeks after and 6 weeks after. So that's going to provide a little bit more flexibility there. So it can kind of stretch out some of the impact that we're worried about in terms of making sure that everybody gets those second doses when they need those second doses. So it sounds like really there was a bit of a perfect storm in terms of a shortage coming from the federal government, maybe some mess ups by pharmacies in parts of the state who aren't as reliable and wonderful as the ones that we have here in House District 36. And then there was absolutely some communication errors, which I have requested that the Department of Health fix moving forward. Obviously, we still got a lot of work to do on vaccines. That's why I'm working on making sure we've got better communication and distribution networks in place so that when we get more vaccines from the federal government, we are able to get them to the people who are most at risk, get through 1A as quickly as possible, and then be able to move on to the rest of the population. So I'm doing everything within my power to fight for that. And of course, you can always find me here on Mondays and Wednesdays and post on other days of the week, providing you the latest information that I have. Other updates here on our bills. Our special education funding bill, HB 534, was officially introduced this week. This is a bill that would take some of the funding burden for special education off of our local school districts and thus off of local property owners as well. I think that's critically important to make sure that the state is providing equitable and stable funding for kids who've got IEPs and 504s. We also have an upcoming meet and greet actually tomorrow evening focused on environmental policy. So if you care about our air, our water, our beautiful environment, make sure you go ahead and register for that. Bring your questions, eat your dinner, drink something good during it. I'm posting the registration link for that right in the comments here. So please feel free to register there. Okay, well, that's about it as far as my updates for today. As always, please feel free to reach out to my office if there's anything that we can do to help you. We are here for you for anything that's going on with state services. So please reach out at any time. Always here for any questions that you might have. Okay, everyone, hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, rest of your week, and I'll be right back here on Monday for your next recap with Rep Jess.